What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today, I was testing some stuff in Division 1. You can see on the screen right now I've got a 175 team. My face cam's going to be, I don't know, maybe the bottom right. Because I want you to see the team ratings. Ignore the actual team that we come up against, just pay attention to the ratings. I've got a 175, we come up against a 180. We talked last week about matchmaking and the influence of the team rating on matchmaking and how much of an impact bronze benching has on that. And so this week I thought I'd decide to try it out a little bit. And first thing to note is I played 7 games with a 175, 176 or 177 team. You'll see the changes as they come. And I played 2 games with a 190 team. The 190 team gave me opponents of a 188 and a 187. The 177 to 179 team gave me 6 out of the 7 opponents as a 182 or lower, and 1 opponent at a 186. So there was one anomaly where it was wildly above my own team rating, but generally speaking it was a very similar team rating. Now for full disclosure, I want to let you guys know that other than in the first 2 games and other than in my high rated teams, I did indeed put bronze attribute cards on all of my players because my team was so bad. It was more for the experiment. I didn't expect to go in and win games. You know, like I know I'm in Division 1 here. I legitimately expected to just get smashed in all the games. So after I started winning some games, I actually thought, hey, I have a chance to win Division 1 here. Let me take this a bit more seriously. And what I could have done is gone and built a super OP Meta Premier League team. I decided to just stick with the players that I had. I felt it to be more effective. But we're going to talk more about team and rating when we go live after the gameplay here. I don't show all of the goals either. I'll show sometimes just the team and the result, sometimes a couple of goals. But I was blown away. You know, I played a lot of Division 1. This is my 8th or 9th Division 1 run. We've won it 6 or 7 times already. And I'm used to coming up against teams with full icons and such. So although it's very apparent that the teams I'm coming up against are also bronze benching to a high degree, but the disparity between a 177 team and a 182 team, for example, or a 175 as I've got here. So you can see I've got the 175 team. We go in here with no attribute cards on this team, and when I do use them, it is only bronze attribute cards, maybe the odd silver on the goalkeeper. This is the anomaly game. We come up against a 186. Interesting enough, I absolutely battered this guy and end up winning comfortably. But in my time in Division 1, I'm used to coming up against 186s or higher. I'm used to coming up against solid players, lots of prime icons, lots of red cards, and just generally really strong teams and really strong players. But on this occasion, only 3 games out of the 9 did I come up against high-rated teams. Not bad. I don't want to say... I want to talk about the rating of the team, because we'll see in the next game how the rating has less effect, you know, than the actual... the team itself. But yeah, what's interesting is, you know, I had low rated teams, and a viewer has messaged me. We talked about this before on Reddit some months ago, and this guy called Pure Gecko has a spreadsheet where he's played lots of games, nearly 200 games worth of data in divisions, checking on team ratings. So he played 49 games with a 70 rated team. The highest rating he came up against was 77, and the lowest rated was 64. The average rating over the 49 games was a 73.4. He played 49 games with a 75 rated team. The highest rated he came up against was 89, which was the one occasion I went through and looked at all his ratings. Other than that 89 rated, and 82 was the max he came up against. The lowest rated was a 73, the average rating was a 78. So when he had a 70 rated team, he came up against an average of a 74. When he had a 75 rated team, he came up against an average of 78. When he had an 81 rated team, he played 51 games with an 81 rated team, and he had an average opponent rating of 81 also, so that was bang even. The highest rated he came up against was 86, the lowest rated was 87, and it mostly looks like, according to the data, that he's coming up against 80s, 81s and 82s. And then he played with an 88 rated team, and he came up against a maximum rating of 91, a minimum rating of 83, and an average rating of 85 over 99 games. So it's clear that at the very least, and again, look at this. This is a 181 team. Now, this is a good team, right? He's got Ronaldinho, Eric Bailly, Antonio Valencia, Kante, Gabriel Jesus, that Jesse Lingard card, which is good. This is a good team. It's a low-rated team because of the bronze bench bringing the rating down, but it's a good team. Now, there's some things to note. First of all, this is in divisions. How much impact does this have in FUT Champions? We just don't know. I'm going to run some tests this weekend, but because of the way matchmaking works and how the first 10 games are the easiest, then the next 10 are relatively easy, then the next 10 are really hard, then the next 10 are quite different, it's going to be interesting to see how the team rating has any kind of impact, if at all, on FUT Champs. And I'm actually going to sacrifice a weekend of FUT Champs this weekend in terms of wins and losses to really test out the disparity between a low-rated team over a 5 or 6 game period in Champs versus a high-rated team over a 5 or 6 game period in FUT Champs. I'm interested to see how that works. But the other thing is interesting to see is where does the parameters start for matchmaking? What's the most important thing, and where does it end? What I assume is that if I have a 180 team, I assume, because I know Divisions has a hidden elo system. It just does, right? It's the way it works. I don't know how it works, but I know it does have a hidden elo system. So let's assume I have 1,000 elo points in an 80 rated team. Does it initially try and find someone on my elo and on my team rating? And then if it can't find someone immediately, does it then look for, instead of just 80s, does it go up to 81s and 82s and down to 79s and 78s? So now it's looking for people on my same elo rating with this kind of team rating. And then if it can't find that, does it then change the elo rating? So it then searches for people with 1,100 points down to people with 900 points. And it keeps expanding the circle. And what might happen is on that occasion where I came up against the 186 team, you might end up hitting the upper echelons of a very wide search system because there's no one on your rating with your elo system, and get a 186, or as you'll see a few times here, it might end up giving me someone on the lower tier where I actually come up against 176s. I think there's a 175 in there, but you can see here, guys, I made a 190 team. I was like, let me go to the absolute perfect extreme. So this is a 190 team, basically as good as my best team. I did do the 2 prime icons, Michael Owen and Diego Maradona. I'll show those in a second. You know, they're 82 rated teams. It cost me like 18k altogether. I had a few untradables and such. But when I put up to the 190 team, look at this. It's such a wildly different team. It's a 188. He's got Pele, 4 Team of the Years, 91 Ronaldinho, 92 Hazard, Gabriel Jesus. Interestingly enough, he's got Azpilicueta in at right centre-back. But my God, what a team, right? An incredible team. And you'll see at the end of the match here, actually, I think I lost this one 4-2 or 5-2, something like that. Yeah, 4-2. He was a good player, you know, take nothing away from him. He outplayed me completely. He deserved the victory, and he just did good. But what I wanted to do was just test out what happens when I go to a higher rating, and how does it impact matchmaking. And it seems like that initially, as we go back into this team right here, again, you can see my attribute cards are on there. You can see that they're bronze cards. I just wanted to show, more importantly, that I went back to the 175 team. And although this guy's got a good team, it's only a 182. So, you know, he's got that Mbappe, Martial, Alessandrini. He's got that Milinkovic-Savic. He's got Laurent Blanc. He's got 94 Lev Yashin, the 87 Benatia, Manolas. You know, really overpowered mid-range rated players. And he's bronze bench to bring it down to an 82. Interestingly enough, I was dominating the first 5 minutes of this game, and this guy just quit. He actually then called me a NepentheZ impersonator and said that he quit because his girlfriend was giving him a BJ. And it was just like, you know, he was a bit toxic, but he basically quit with 6 minutes on the clock because I'd already had 2 good chances. I probably should have scored and probably should have taken a victory there, but we get no win there, no loss there. But yeah, definitely in divisions, this team rating plays an impact. And one of the things when I tweeted about this last night, I got met with a lot of people saying, isn't that how it should be? That evenly rated teams should match against evenly rated. And there's a few arguments to that as we now go up to 177. I put De Bruyne up instead of Vardy. Wasn't enjoying Vardy. I'm only at 177, and this is what we come up against with our first team. A full Fiorentina team, a 175. This is in Division 1. Now tell me when this normally happens. It just doesn't, right? But my argument to people that say, shouldn't you match against players with the same team rating? Well, if you based it off the first 11, I'd say, yeah, it's more fair to match against someone who has a similar team rating than you, because then you have the same starting 11 in terms of value and ratings, and maybe you've got some super subs. But because it takes the bench into play as well, you can have, for example, this team as a 182, which is a great team. It's got icons, lots of informs, some special cards, overpowered players as a 182, versus a different style 182 that is a really, really bad team, and one of them is great with a bronze bench and one of them is average with a gold bench, and that's not a fair matchup. It's also apparent that because I've got a 177 and then had a 175, I'm coming up against 181, 180, 182. That's not a fair match. that is a mismatch. You know, this team is 7 ratings higher than me. This guy actually gave me some grief. He said, stat cards are on you so your Herrera can outrun my whole team. You are so bad. You will never get good playing like this. Using exploits, yada, yada, yada. I had bronze attribute cards on, and they weren't even there. I don't even have the coaches, so it was literally +3 pace on Herrera, and he was getting very upset. He continued to send me abuse, and another player that called me a NepentheZ fanboy ended up winning the game in the 90th minute, which obviously felt absolutely fantastic. De Bruyne coming into the team and scoring 2 goals. But yeah, so I would argue that, yeah, matchmaking should be based on team rating if we don't take into consideration the bench. But because it quite apparently does take into consideration the bench, I don't think team rating should be considered in matchmaking. I think it should be ELO or such. And I'm going to try with a 180 team or a 181 team for tonight. I'm going to play a few games of Division 1 with like a 181, and just see if, you know, as a 177 or a 175, I came up as high as 182 on average with the anomaly of a 186, but I came up against like 182s down to 177s. You know, look at this team, a 178. Now this is actually a good team. It's a really strong team with good players, and the player that was actually playing with this team was a very good player. He messaged me afterwards. He's a fan of the videos. But I'm going to build a 181, 182, and see, you know, as a 177, I went up to 182s and down at 186s and such. I wonder if a 180 or a 181 or a 182, do I go up to the 185s and down to the 170s? Because if I do, as a 182, if you do go up to the 185s, it might actually be a bad thing to do to have that kind of team rating, because a 185 can be a super team with a bronze bench, whereas a 182 can only be a strong team with a bronze bench. So the difference could be massive in the caliber of teams that you face under that instance. Now, with 2 games left, I thought to myself, I need a win and a draw to get the title. So let me go out of my way to go back to my big team to test this one more time. We've gone back to the 190 team. You'll see me apply a fitness card right here. And then you'll see in the background the 190 team is there. We search for an opponent. And remember the team that I came up against the first occasion with the 190 team? We'll have a look at the team that I come up against on the second occasion with the 190 team. It was, I think the first one was a 187 or a 188. And this second one that's just about to pop up on your screen now is a 187 or a 188. One of them was 187, one of them was 188. So let's have a look at the team that I came up against, and it was another wonder team. Now, this is not a coincidence, guys. The 2 games I use my mega team with, I come up against this time 3 icons and 4 team of the years. Last time it was, I think, 2 team of the years and 4 icons, or 4 team of the years and 2 icons, something like that. But the 2 occasions I use my mega team, I come up against absolute wonder teams. On this occasion, I actually got the win, so I only needed a draw in the final game, and because I'd won all but 1 game with my small team to date, in fact, I think I'd won all of the games. Yeah, so far I've won 6 out of 6 games with my low-rated team. I thought, hey, let me just get a draw with the low-rated team as a bare minimum. So I went back to the low-rated team. This time it's a 178. I put Ander Herrera in at centre mid instead of Aaron Moyes' red card. I actually changed that for the last game maybe as well. But it's up to a 178 now, so I'm still in the low area in this. And I came up again against a really low-rated team, a 182. But what a team that is. Aaron Moy red card, Fernandinho 86 red card, the 86 Giroud, the 86 Sterling, and like basically good, just a great team. Ake and Bay, upgraded Walker. I mean, this is a 182 team versus my 178 team. This is no comparison. And this guy was also very, very good, and he absolutely slaughtered me. I got completely outplayed, got dominated 7-2. But what was important here was the fact that quite clearly, quite evidently, my team rating had a humongous impact on the team rating of the opponents that I faced. This is the end of the post-com gameplay, guys. I'm going to go live. I will be right back. Alright, guys, so here we go. We've come live. I've got some... I sold Overmars. I've got some huge changes I want to make to the team. Remember when I said... that De Bruyne and Modric will be in my team until the end of the year? Well, I just don't want them. And the reason why I don't want them isn't because they're not incredible, because they absolutely are incredible. For me, Luka Modric has been the best box-to-box midfielder that I've used this year. 307 games, 131 goals, 123 assists. Right now on PlayStation, he's about 1.2 million. Obviously, I've made huge loss on Modric. We bought him way too early, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm going to list him up for the simple reason of not wanting to miss out during Team of the Season and for FUT Birthday. And why I say that, let me just make sure. So there's 1.28, 1.29. So updated 2 minutes ago. Let me go to 1.19. Let me do that. Let me drop him there. We're going to get rid of that Modric card. And then second of all is Kevin De Bruyne. Now, let's make no mistake. I love this card. This has been my favourite card throughout this year so far. 311 games, 258 goals and 175 assists. Most of those as a cam, some of those as a striker, some of those as a centre mid. But most of those, I'd say probably 260 or more games at cam. And the reason why I'm going to sell this KDB, first of all, I bought him for 2.2 million. He's currently selling for about 2 million on PlayStation, I believe. Yeah, I mean, he's actually going down and down and down. Yesterday, just yesterday, his price was bang on 2 million. And now today, it seems like he's at 1.93. Let me actually have a look at all of these. 1.95 there, 1.94. Are we going to see a 1. Yeah, see, there you go, 1.93. So I'm only going to get 1.9 million for this De Bruyne. And you may think, you know, coins don't really mean much. What do you need the coins for? Well, the reason why I want the coins is because I want to come away in Team of the Season with the most coins available to have an incredible time. And what I fear is that by keeping De Bruyne and Modric, it's getting close to Team of the Season, right? You may not think it because we're only in May, but so be it. We are in May. Because the World Cup is on this year, Team of the Season will start early. In FIFA 14, Team of the Season started in the 3rd week of April. So we're in May. Next month is April. We could be as early as 6 or 7 weeks away from Team of the Season. And what happens is between now and Team of the Season, everybody starts getting rid of cards, getting prepared, and prices are just going to plummet. And the other thing is that next week or around next week, maybe the week after, FUT Birthday is going to be here. During FUT Birthday, we might well see, again, premium SBCs return. And remember the premium SBCs of last year, that Fernando Torres, that David Luiz card? I would rather go and get one of those players or do a new icon or something, you know, maybe a new league SBC and have coins in the bank. I've got 4.1 million now. And once this De Bruyne sells, we will have about 5.8 million once Kevin De Bruyne sells. 5.8 million coins, and this is my team currently. Are we in a bad spot? Now, I might go and buy Neymar. I might not go and buy Neymar. I've not entirely decided yet. I could also sell Ter Stegen. You know, 90,000 coins. He's currently selling for about 110, so we could get rid of him, and then I could just use Rico in goal. And don't get me wrong again, I like this Ter Stegen card, but why not take the profit when we can? I can change this defense up, but this defense is solid, and as we've been discussing in terms of getting a team at a 180 or 181, this would be a 181 team, or a 182 if I put Alessandrini on the bench. I could still change it and reduce the ratings. I could go and put Rafa Varane in instead of Sergio Ramos, and it would reduce the team rating to, I believe, a 181 actually. Let's go for gold and the Liga Santander. I mean, I could put this Martinez in. Oh, well, that actually remains at a 182. All right, so I couldn't get a 181 with Ramos. I would need to, with Varane. But I could change this team accordingly. I could go for Bailly and Valencia here, although it would then be an instance where what am I trying to say? I've got an itchy back. How Eric Bailly wouldn't be on chemistry. Eric Bailly would actually be off chemistry. The only way we could do that is if we put David De Gea in net or a Spanish Premier League goalkeeper. And that is only David De Gea. And David De Gea is probably too high rated. So let me have a look at... let's take out Rico. Let's take out Ramos. And let's take out Versalco. See, I think taking away 284s and a 90, and I'm putting in Bailly, Valencia, which are 283s. 183, 184. Let's have a look at Premier League Gold. I've got an Antonio Valencia untradeable in the back there. And then in at centre-back, I'm going to need to go for Eric Bailly. And we'll pop him in right there. And yeah, so we need that extra link. And I fear that putting in David De Gea is going to be far too high rated still. Yeah, we're still at 182. So swapping those around, because Ramos is so high rated, isn't going to be a useful way to make the most of this team. The other thing that we could do is we could potentially look at changing the attack. Now, the reason why I like this is because we could play 4-1-2-1-2 with this if we've got Neymar. Neymar and Cavani up front, Quincy Promes in at cam, Rijkaard at CDM, Gustavo and Rui Costa as our outside centre mids. Now, Gustavo obviously is not quite at the level that Luka Modric was at, but with saying that, his shot power and long shots are fantastic. His short passing and long passing is good. His reactions are very good, which I rate highly, and he's got good defensive and good physical stats. And we've already played a considerable number of games with him, 108 games as CDM. Failing that, we could play Frank Rijkaard as one of our outside centre mids. 4-star weak foot again, good long shots, good short shot power, good short and long passing again, good reactions, good ball control. He might actually make a better centre mid than a CDM. But basically, this could be the team with Neymar, or we could potentially go and get ourselves a different winger. I don't know necessarily who we'd get. I don't think the French league offers anyone that benefits me massively except for Dimitri Payet, but he's not good enough. I need like a link, obviously. I mean, the 87 Di Maria is a good shout, although he doesn't get the strong link to to Gustavo. The beauty of Neymar is that he strong links to Gustavo and to Cavani. Julian Draxler, again, doesn't get the strong link in there. Dimitri Payet doesn't get a strong link that we need either. We could use Memphis Depay, but again, he wouldn't get the strong link into Cavani, so I don't know how I'd necessarily make that work unless we put Depay in there, and if we swap those two around, no, Cavani's still way off. Depay would be fine, Gustavo is way off. I don't know, I'm going to play around with the team a little bit. Neymar obviously works in that role right there. But I don't know if I want to spend the money on Neymar either. The whole point of selling the two big boys was to release funds for Team of the Season. And that's not saying that I want to play with like a dead out team. I just definitely want to try a lower rated team for divisions this week, and then potentially take a team like this into champs if I'm enjoying it. Neymar currently is down at 370. He hasn't really depreciated much over the last month. He was like 420 at the start of February, and he's now 370. So he's gone down 50k in a month. So in another month, when Team of the Season is really like getting up there, he might be down at 320. The other alternative I can do is basically, if we take away Gustavo and take away Cavani, we actually have these three positions here that are fit for anything. We can, as long as we get, you know, the links required, we can put basically any three players in these roles. We could go for an Anthony Martial, maybe a Paul Pogba. I don't know how much Pogba is these days. Let's have a look at good old Pogs. So Pogs is at 370, so a similar price to Neymar, Anthony Martial, and then maybe a Lukaku or something up front. But we could also go with the Harry Kane, Heung-min Son duo up front. But once again, that would put us in a position where we would be wasting a lot of our coins on the Team of the Year Harry Kane, only to lose coins. He's at 1.4 still, the same as he was yesterday. So I'm going to have a good look, guys. I don't want to waste too much more of your time. I know this video is getting on a fair bit right now. We've already been in here for 10 minutes, so this is going to be like a 25-minute video. Feel free to recommend and tweet me ideas for these three positions here, even including Cavani and Gustavo, or excluding Cavani and Gustavo. And even so, we could even take out Promes, and I could say use these four positions, because Promes doesn't have to be in there. He's just a player that I like, and he gets that strong link to Rijkaard. But we've basically got a left wing striker, right wing position. I mean, we could put Cavani up there. We could go and get the right wing Mbappe and pop him in there, and then go somewhere else with it. Or we could just completely change formation. If we switch to a 4-2-2, if we don't use wingers, if we use attackers instead, there is very good potential to fit basically anyone else in here. You know, the Alba and Nacho Fernandez always get perfect chemistry. So does Ramos, and Versalco will get chemistry because of the icons that we've got available. So with three spots available, do we go and get ourselves that Hernan Crespo and play him at striker, and then go and get perhaps Ciro Immobile and Milinkovic-Savic? You know, we've got so many options, but I want you guys to be involved in this. So 3 spots available, maybe 4 if we take out Cavani as well. Basically, if we take into consideration these 7 players as our starting lineup, what else would you do with the team? Let me know. So we sold another item there. It's probably going to be Ter Stegen. Oh no, De Bruyne's gone. So that puts us up at almost 6 million. And then once, you know, we've got Arias here and Ter Stegen. Once they go, we will be over 6 million coins. And we've still got a lot of items in the club that we could sell. Not that I'm interested in selling right now, but we've got Nacho Fernandez, Costa, Versalco, Martinez, Ismaili. Of course, in terms of good players, we've got Ramos, Alexandro. We've got a lot of high-rated dudes here and expensive dudes here. And we've got our Elite 3 rewards to come as well. So for Team of the Season, I am super excited for Team of the Season. Let's just put it that way. And for Foot Birthday, if there's a really good attacking Foot Birthday card for a premium SBC, I will do it. But this is where we're at right now, dudes. It feels good to see all those coins in the bank. It feels good to see the team that we've got with that many coins available as well. This, though, is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.